10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Oi! We're on.
Oh, shit. Hello!
And you complain about me being late.
What? I was reading this.
Yeah,
Got
next time, try having the book the right way up.
I had the book the wrong way round. Damn.
No, you didn't. You showed how little attention you were paying to what you were doing.
You correct. All I was doing was just looking in
Yeah,
here.
I know.
To find the boat what?
I know.
And I'm thinking, can it really be built for a laugh?
Well, they did it for the show, so I would imagine it can.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. The hanger bay for it. Look, see, look at the design on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, illustrated by Graham Bellerman. What a detail. Sorry, I bugged up his last name. But this is a good book, especially when you've got the hanger bay, or the pod bay for Thunderbird 2.
Yeah. Well, they did this. Well, this is the sort of thing you didn't get that quite so much in the original series in the 60s, but certainly sort of from the 80s onwards, when these things started picking up, you started getting technical manuals. You started getting stuff to you started getting stuff to accompany shows and to fluff them out, so to speak.
I'm just wondering, the episode Terry New York City, which has always been my favourite, how the Virgil comes in, right, crashes and all this and that, and the time he gets to the end, I'm surprised he didn't slam into the wall with Tracy Islands.
Yeah.
Because that must have been one freaking slow landing.
Yeah, well, it's not. I'll say it's not fast, but it's a heavy vehicle. So once it gets down, it's down. You think about it. They start. There's a whole. You start off with sort of novelizations of episode, and then you then get, which I think that probably started off with Doctor Who, because most of the Star Trek stuff you got.
Yeah.
Some of the early Star Trek books are perhaps novelizations of, but most of the early Star Trek stuff is what you might call Missing Adventures. Oh, well, you get better, Miranda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised in this weather. Yeah, I was out in the sun earlier on today. It was it's got to the point where, it's getting to the point where, okay, I changed the hat for the Panama or something, which, hey PJ, which isn't quite so airless and sticky. It's not an actual proper felt hat, it's a straw hat. But yeah, you think about it. I'm thinking about it, that I don't think that Doctor Who. I think you start off with the Target novelizations, and you've got the Missing Adventures coming about the same time, where they put the Missing Adventures, the original ones, where they actually had them. They literally told you in the back of the book what episodes they were between. So Doctor Who probably started with the episode novelizations. Star Trek the most of the stuff that I can remember from back in the day, as I say, is a few episodes on it, but most of it is what Doctor Who has been missing adventures, other stuff, and then later on you got spin-off fill-outs and the rest of it. Then I suppose the next stage beyond that is things like that, like you sort of technical manuals and that. I mean, I remember back in the 90s, I had a few of the Babylon 5 stuff, the technical manuals and things like that. And then it's thinking about it, what might have actually pushed the spread is you move over into the role-play gaming sector.
Yeah.
Because with the RPGs, you get it starts off with Dungeons and Dragons do their monster manuals, so they do details, but they're probably where you get the expansion out into. I mean, a lot of the stuff I know, I can think of technical manuals. Quite a few of those are for sort of assisting in Doctor Who role playing or Babylon 5 or whatever Star Trek role play. So that's possible. A lot of this text, and then it spreads out into the slightly less geeky, slightly more widespread fandom, where you get the tech manuals and the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's always been interesting. You've got the Thunderbirds one, you've got the Captain Scarlet one, you've got the UFO one, Space one, and the Stingray one.
Yeah, I mean you've got, because of course a lot they're also what they're based on, of course, is back when they're all based on the old Haynes manuals for cars. Back when you could actually do basic maintenance on your car without having an advanced engineering degree or a computer hookup.
Well, I don't know if you got the Fireball XL1 or the Supercar one. It is going to be difficult for a Hayes manual or for FFSI, told you the battery boy.
Yeah, because I mean the whole point of the Haynes manual stuff is that it's a pastiche of vehicle manuals, maintenance manuals, and the like.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily going to be that easy. You're not going to have vehicle details for a horse.
That would be funny.
I mean, you could have. I mean, for anything like you could have things like building plans and all that sort of thing. You could have stuff like that, but because the Haynes manual is specifically, which is what they're based on, I mean, you think about it, it's specifically based on a vehicle maintenance manual.
Yeah.
And that's what the original Haynes were for. They were literally for you to be able to do basic maintenance on your car. A quite high level, not necessarily basic as well. You'd probably find that mechanics would have them as well. You could, they were literally technical guides. So that's, so you can have something like that for buildings, for vehicles, for equipment, for machinery, if you like. I mean, you think about it, something like is cloud-based a building or a machine? It's kind of both.
Yeah. Very interesting though is they've got another Thunderbirds technical name coming out, but it's not Hayes.
Say again?
They've got a Thunderbirds technical manual coming out again. But it's not Hayes.
Oh well, no. I mean, I don't think Hayes did any of those. I think Haynes only ever did.
They just stuck their name on it and went, hey.
Oh, did that? Okay, I said I'm not sure, because when they may have done it, would make sense, because they're the guys that have got the expertise in writing them. So you get them in, and if you get someone who's writes one of those and has got that technical knowledge and expertise of franchise, I suppose it makes sense, and it would make Haynes money and get their name out of it. Well, so maybe I don't know. I just couldn't. I wasn't sure they had or not. But
I might start collecting these, because you've got one for Stingray.
Wow.
Actually,
Well,
I do. Well, the thing is, I've got the Thunder. I might get the other Thunderbirds one and the Stingray one.
yeah, and I was going to say, and I'm not. I was going to say, I'm not sure how much you can do when there's only one vessel, but then again, the original thing to when it's just got one car or make a car. So
Well, good news.
good news, everybody.
Yes, good news, everybody. I'm getting my countdown to no, the Thunderbird Super Space Theatre Blu-ray is coming in the next 48 hours.
Excellent.
Problem is that I'm hoping the postman's going to deliver it.
Yep, actually, PJ's got that right. Classic Aids manuals
Yeah,
or the version for YouTube how-tos. Yeah, absolutely right, mate. Hadn't thought about that, but absolutely right. Spot as they say on.
yeah. I might get the Hayes manual for Stingray and that.
Mm.
Actually, but you know, because you've got UFO, Spaceman, Fireball XL Fight, Joe 90. They're a bit pricey, but what the hell? Yeah, I think I'll get these in the future. So what have you been doing with yourself, Colin?
Trying to stay out of the sun. I'm not a summer person.
Well, it has been hot, hot, hot.
Yeah.
At least the country's not burning down yet.
Although apparently that would seem to be what you see from what you seem to see on a lot of the well, not the maps and the weather maps and the rest of it.
What, it's roasting?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you know, they do this thing, and that you see people who've got some brains who aren't actual scaremongers can actually think. And they'll put up a map from 1976, the summer of '76, and it's pale to dark greens, the same temperatures. They do it now,
Yeah.
and it's red, dark red, and black for the same flipping maybe 1 degree higher with the temperatures. You know, they just don't seem they. They just seem
Well,
to be
I'm just going to
scaremongering.
say this. Hey, Jay, you lucky bastard, send the rain down here.
Hmm.
It's raining up in Scotland.
Ah. Well, I also talked to someone. I was on chat with someone in. Actually, no, I haven't. That reminds me. Yeah, the actually reminds me. I want to watch YouTube later on to see if this chat's still fucked. Apparently, it's been raining in Wales for a while. Yeah, I noticed on. I was watching Broom, Mr. Brown yesterday evening. We noticed.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know what YouTube's done, but for some reason, when you type in chat, what it currently was showing up as yesterday was the at thing of your YouTube, not the name you put in. So not the name of your channel, but the at address for your channel,
Yeah.
which is fine. It's mine's at Archer Colin 3662 or something. But you know, if it's at something completely utterly meaningless, but you then just changed your name, the name of the channel itself. It says, you know, I mean, I think I changed mine once. Mine used to be Colin P.
Yeah,
But
and then you change it to Archer Colin because I kept changing mine all the time.
yeah. Well, one of the reasons I got is that I noticed. I mean, I noticed it on. I first noticed it for some reason when that your your handle is included in your 200 characters. So if your if your name, if your YouTube name is for example, is Baron AWK Master of Stories,
Yeah.
That is that's about 15. That's about 12 characters less that you can't put in. So if your name if your name is just AWK, that takes out 3 to 5 characters depending on if you put the hyphens in. Right. So if you're 200 characters, you can put in 195 characters. If your handle that appears when your name in YouTube is 20 characters long, you can only type 180 characters. So if you've got a really long, smart ass name, you can't do that. You can't put much in chat. You know.
So I can't call myself supercalifragilistic.
Well, you could do, but that's I say. But in fact, I didn't actually notice yesterday. I'm gonna have to check. No, not there's anything on to watch on tonight. Well, actually, no, it depends. No, because we'll probably still be streaming it. But because I think mine comes out at 16 characters. So the full on app thing. So I say, Broom was having a problem working out who was who last night because you're used to seeing PJ maybe or Brown or Miranda or whatever. I mean, if PJ, if for example PJ's the actual address, whatever you call it, for PJ's channel is at Peter John Malkovich possibly might be, for example, what? That's what will now appear in YouTube chat. In fact, hold on a second. I'm being an absolute idiot. Sorry, I'm being an absolute freaking moron. I'm looking at the flipping chat from YouTube, and it's showing up properly. I'm sorry, I'm being an I think we're on bloody because we're on StreamYard. I'm just not actually brain's not switched on to the fact of. So I actually just
So the heat has been doing the braining.
Yeah, the heat has definitely been doing my braining. Hold on, that's just
refunds are available.
Yeah, it's back to normal again. So obviously it was just a weird thing. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it is actually showing up, so it is back to normal, hopefully.
Well, shall we make the announcement?
Which announcement do you want to make first?
The announcement is that from December we will no longer. Well, after December, going into New Year, we won't be no longer doing Monday night with FFSI anymore.
I guess you just made the announcement then.
Yeah, so December with the last one, but we'll be migrating over to Let's Talk Geeking, subject to Colin's availability.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
To a degree. I mean, it doesn't split between them. You're working with, you're back to them doing a lot like with PJ, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that how long we've been doing like FFSI shows?
Oh, I have no idea.
Since August 20.
Maybe. I believe it. If that's what the earliest one was, I believe it.
Yeah, well.
And we've been through several iterations as well.
Yeah.
We had, we're no longer doing what we first started sort of doing.
That's right.
It just changed a little bit as people have changed and ideas have changed and.
Yeah, and everyone's buggered off out.
Well, yeah. I mean, we got out and we've I mean, it's also part of the problem is we do that, and when we do that, because we, because you drop down to once a month or something. So again, it's You know, it's varied, and there's more people on the internet now covering similar things or things that are on the same time as us or that we want to watch even.
Well,
You
we're
know,
not
so.
talking anything political, are we?
No, and I think that a lot of people do. I think, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing because the problem is, from what I can see, seems to be a lot of um, certain type of politics seems to be, I would say, infecting. That seems to be taking over the kind of stuff that we talk about. You know,
Yeah.
or at least the modern stuff that we talk about. When
Well,
you when you set me off on a 2.5 hour on a 2.5 hour digression about history, we then the politics in that don't really matter because they're politics at 600 years old.
yeah.
And nobody really cares these days about the politics of who should be king of France. I know it should be the British to own France, but the other, our as a channel, um, as a sort of general fan, our area of what would you call it, genre TV, there seems to be a lot of things in that which people take politically is perhaps the best way to put it. If you want to be neutral about it.
We're
Um,
sorry about that. As we talk about Wimbledon, but we don't watch Wimbledon.
oh God, is that still going on?
Yeah, it started today.
Mm.
Let's go and watch the tennis.
All I can say about Wimbledon is underground, overground, Wimbledon free.
Oh, Miss
I,
Marbles.
I promise not to sing the entire theme tune, although I could.
Da, 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 da. Do you want to know something funny? PJ couldn't get the tune on Let's Talk Geeky.
Can you not?
No.
Mm.
Last month we did guess the opening theme tune, right?
Oh, right.
And then Miranda got it.
The odd thing for some of those actually is it's not entirely surprising because quite often what people remember for the theme tune of a show or a film
Yeah,
isn't the entire tune.
yeah.
I mean, you're going to know better than I am that most TV and film themes um, are written as an entire tune,
No,
not
no,
not a 30-second 1 minute opener.
yeah.
So sometimes you hear the start of something. I'll give you an example. It's not a theme tune, but let's just see if you or PJ or anyone else can you actually work out what this is the first verse to? Um, the sun is shining. Oh, what my page is. The sky is blue. It's 180 degrees, but it's December. It's not a clock, but it's December the 24th, and I'm longing to be up north. There is a massive, great hint in one of those lines there as to what that is actually the opening verse to.
So you read it, not saying it. The Snowman.
No.
No, PJ.
Yeah, no, I know. I said no. No, I'll try sing. The sun is shining, the sky
Bloody
is
hell, Colin,
blue.
sing it.
It's 100 degrees in the shade, but it's December the 24th, and I'm longing to be up north. Why might if you're in California and 180 degrees in the shade on December the 24th, might what you want to be up a little bit further north on the 24th of December?
Is this American?
It's possibly one of the most famous songs in the world. You do know this song. I guarantee you know this song. I guarantee you know this song. Yeah, I know. Why do you think I said? Look, PJ. When I was at primary school, I was told by my music teacher not to sing in assembly because I growled. I know what my singing voice is like. Right?
Oh no.
You know you may not know the answer to this song, but you do know this song. I guarantee you know this song.
Yeah, that's why I said, is it American?
I think it is American. I'm genuinely not sure. I've got it by about 3 different people. This particular version, interestingly, where I learned that song, where I learned that existed, was Dolly Parton. And unfortunately, the version I've got of that with the song is not Dolly Parton singing it. Oh, that's a good question, Chris, PJ. Well, if I were doing this as charade, it's a song, but it is also the title of one movie, which is actually 2 movies, but only one of them is 2 movies, but only one of them is called this. And if I remember right, the more famous one stars Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, and I can't think who the 2 ladies are. Although, to be honest, you might have to be asleep to get it. What you're thinking about that? Give me a second. I'm going to go and see my other books. I've got something else I want to try my by. Yes. Although it's actually White Christmas, not Whit Christmas. The next one is I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. Keep the chat going for a second, because you've got me idea.
Keep the chat going for a second.
Well, yeah. You talk about something. I just want to go and fetch something because I can't remember exactly what the words are. I know where I can check them out. But I'll be back in a sec.
So, everybody out there, it's just me talking utter bollocks, and more bollocks. Deborah and Jacqueline doing. I know Deborah, I'm familiar with Deborah Kerr, but not Jacqueline. I am really useless at pronouncing names. I don't know if I'm dyslexic or not, but never mind. This is when we could do with the 3rd leg on here. Clooney. Right. So you missed an O out. Well, this is me trying to hold a show by myself. It's lovely weather we've been having lately. Burning hot. Let's fry an egg out there. That's an experiment to try. Oh, he's coming back. I can hear something in the background. Bum, 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 down the front door. Oh, God. Got it. Yeah. I still can't believe it took you forever to get that, PJ. I could have used the stuff of it.
So, mate, after all that, I can't find the fucking book. I'm miffed immensely because it's one of my favourite books. I wonder. And again, it's something I didn't even know there were words to. So again, another very famous tune that I didn't know there were words to. Although to be quite
In the
honest,
avenues and alleyways.
that is that's the Persuade, that's the Protectors
Yes.
by Matt Monroe. Is it? Did that?
Oh,
Who did it?
Tony Christie.
Was it Tony? Oh yeah, Tony Christie. Yeah, yeah.
No, Matt Monroe sang on days like these.
Okay, so that's interesting. That's not the words I know. Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, but on right.
No, this
Song
one. This,
on days like these was from what famous film that made Michael Caine a bigger star? PJ, I'll probably get this straight away. Colin,
what were the words?
on days like these, under me. Oh, come on, PJ.
Oh, you mean it wasn't Zulu?
No.
I don't
That
remember.
would be a great opening for Zulu.
I don't remember Deborah Carr being in White Christmas. It was yeah, I think it was Rosemary Clooney. You're right, Rosemary Clooney.
Yeah,
I
he's
remember
got
because I don't remember Deborah Carr being in musical. Right. So what am I saying? I don't remember Deborah Carr being in musicals. You know, Deborah Carr from The King and I. Okay, forget that comment.
You know something? I miss you, Bruno, but
Mm-hmm.
he was an actor, so I always tell you about this.
Yep.
And I'm back to slaphead, actors. So I'm going to become a slaphead now. Yes, I'm going bald, and I don't care. Right, so on days like these, PJ got it right, the Italian Job.
Oh, well, the only Italian job one I know was a Self-Preservation Society.
Yes, but that was at the end. Here's the one. Good for you.
Do 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 do.
Okay, what do you think now?
Well, let's put it this way: that should have been the tune they played at the end of Star Wars, at the final, the finale of Star Wars, the trench one. No, the one they should have played specifically for the trench one, because that's what the trench one was.
What? The Dam Busters.
Correct. The trench run was the Dam Busters. Think about it. It was the.
Remember that Colin Black Label advert where they took the piss at the Dam Busters?
Yeah. You probably again my singing, but another war movie.
Oh, it's a war movie, is it?
It's a war movie, yeah. It's quite a famous war movie, but you might. But again, with my singing and that, it might do. One minute. No, it's that's the Dam Busters.
No, what's the other one? Christ's sake! The one with the Spitfires and the Hurricanes in it.
Oh, you mean the Battle of Britain?
That's it!
I can never remember the Battle of Britain theme tune until I hear it played. Again, that starts One more, I think, doesn't it? That one I was. That is Apocalypse Now, because that is Ride of the Valkyries.
Yeah.
I was trying, and I'm echoing again there now. I was trying to do the Guns of Navarone.
Oh, right.
That's what I was trying badly to do.
You know, right? You meant
Which you know, it was just. Vera Ellen, yes, thank you, PJ. Here. You know, you realize, of course, that the Guns of Navarone was also a time travel movie.
How was it?
Well, because one of the because Tony from the Time Tunnel got lost there as well. James Darren was a non-book character in the film Guns of Navarone. So in fact, Tony, and I can't remember the character. Tony, no. For some reason, I'm now thinking Tony Anholt, either in The Protectors or in UFO in Space 1999. No, Tony Newman apparently ended up going through time from World War II all the way to the far future of Deep Space Nine, where he ended up as a lounge singer.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. He played the Greek. He played the exactly. PJ. He played the the Guns of Navarone is a really weird movie when it comes to casting.
Yeah, Stanley Baker as a silent cameo.
Yeah, the weird casting for that is that you've got. I'm trying to which way to go.
Anthony Quayle was mostly on the stretcher.
Yeah, you've got David Niven, who's as British as you can get, playing a character which in the book was an American. You've got Gregory Peck, who is extremely American, playing a character which in the book was a New Zealander.
Yeah.
And I think there's one other one as well, and I can't remember what hand. Well, apart from the fact, obviously, that you've got non-Greeks playing Greeks. Well, actually, no, Anthony Quayle was Greek, wasn't he? So he was.
Okay. So, who did Gregory Peck and David Niven become in the sequel?
I'm
looking at their names.
I can picture them. Gregory Peck became, was it Robert Shaw?
Yes.
And David Niven became Edward Fox?
Yes.
Yeah, Force 10 there were nowhere near as good a book. Oddly enough, Force 10 from Navarone has the unique distinction of being the only book Alistair MacLean wrote, which was a sequel. Every other book of his own that Alistair MacLean wrote, not one of them has a sequel. Every one of them is a completely unique entity.
And the funny thing is, you had a young Harrison Ford in it, just fresh off the Star Wars.
Yep. Harrison Ford was in Force 10.
Before he done the Empire Strikes Back.
I think Barbara Bach was in Force 10.
The Rocky movie at the time.
I think Barbara Bach was in Force 10 as well.
Yes. And you had Richard Kiel, who was just there, without the teeth.
Yeah.
Fresh off the James Bond set.
The thing is, it's amazing. I still haven't managed to get copies of all of the. I mean, I've read almost every Alistair MacLean book. And maybe a couple I haven't read, and several he then went on to start a series which he wrote with others, which they did a series of films with Pierce Brosnan. But I mean, the number of his books that were made into films. Ice Station Zebra, little known film.
Zebra.
That one. Zebra. No, it's Zebra, because it's Z, not Z.
Well, before you carry on, answer this question.
David Niven. I think he was in a Scottish one, wasn't it? He was one of the Scots ones, Scots Guards. I think. Because I think he was just. can't remember much because I've years and years and years and years and years ago I actually read a couple of his biographies as well. Might have read those again. Yeah, so I thought it was a Scottish one, but well, we're doing World War II trivia. No, you must know the. I must have given you the answer to this one. Which Scottish officer took a claymore to a beach landing after having walked back to France with a longbow? Oh, well done, PJ. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Matthew.
Interesting. Which Scottish officer took yeah, it's correct. Yeah, Mad Jack Churchill. Of course. There is Mad Jack. Well, it's Mad Jack. Mad Jack Churchill. There is no way I have not mentioned Mad Jack Churchill, the guy who got most of his unit back from Belgium back to Dunkirk because he just happened to have his longbow with him.
Right, here's something to say about the Guns and Navarro. You had a great cameo who was only in it for 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
It went on to star in 3 Harry Potter movies and was a Irish Hellraiser.
In the Guns.
Yeah.
It's got to have been, the original Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Richard Harris.
Yeah.
I don't remember him being in the Guns and Navarone.
He was only in it for 5 minutes. He was a pilot.
Oh right. Well, there's great. There's the thing is, I've got a feeling the Guns and Navarone may actually be based on, loosely based on an actual.
What, raid?
Yeah, on an actual event in World War II. I think. I'm not sure. I'm sure I saw something else. I'm sure I saw something a while ago about a similar an actual operation.
Well, there were no guns, were there?
No, I can't. There was something. The idea of that was they had to take out the guns, otherwise the British weren't going to be able to evacuate. Never mind invade. And I think it was the other way around. But I know there was one on D-Day where the there was one on D-Day where the American, because I was watching. Obviously, D-Day was a couple of 3 weeks ago. It was the anniversary. There was the American Rangers climbed up a cliff.
Yeah.
Actually, that might have been what it was, PJ.
Yeah,
You said that might be the one it was. That might actually be the one it's very least reminded me of. Except as PJ said, they got up there and they found the guns hadn't been sighted. The guns weren't there.
Yeah.
But what's going on? Well, I mean, you look at the cars. There's a great bit. The start of that where they're talking where they're going back, and he takes Mallory into the. I've got several of those, PJ. I've got the old cover disc you used to get as well. I picked up. I'm sorry. They start off with the Guns and Navarone. Is they go in and where you've got James Robertson Justice as their boss taking them in, and these people complaining about the idiot that asked him to bob his guns, and he says, "I was the one."
Yeah, another great actor.
Yeah.
James Robert Justice. He was in everything.
Yeah. But but like I said, if you think, like I said, Alice McLean, Guns and Navarone, Full Strength for Never Know, Isolation Zebra, however you want to put it.
Right. Do you want to know an interesting fact about
Puppet on a Chain? Yeah, go on.
There's not one woman in it.
In what?
In Isolation Zebra.
Correct. Again, very different. Again, quite different to the book in
Yeah.
some ways.
And another thing is, Patrick
Well,
McGowan.
I was saying there were no women talking about Ice Age Zebra. There were no women in the thing either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We know that. But no, what I'm just saying about Isolation Zebra is Patrick McGowan was filming. He was filming The Prisoner at the same time,
But we'll see. All right. Yeah.
and they did one episode, which his mind was swapped or put into another body, so he could film Isolation Zebra.
All right. Didn't know that. Mm.
And I can't watch Isolation Zebra today because we all know who the bleeding traitor was.
Mm. Again, the interest. Again, these are all Alistair McLean films. Are all ones I would say they're good films, but go and read the book as well for all of them, because he was a good he was an excellent writer.
Yeah.
You've got what's one I'm thinking of is the one with Anthony Hopkins. When Eight Bells Toll.
Yes, I watched that. It's a good film.
Yeah. I think they made one that they made one of, which is the one when there's Reverend Amazon.
Don't! No! No! No, we are not going to say it. We are not going to say it. Good one, pretty check, but we're not going to say it, are we, Colin? Don't you dare say it.
Hold on a second. Let me think. Dahl did it. What did it? Dahl did it. Dahl did it.
And the thing is, it wasn't the
Dahl did it. I can't remember my Morse. But the thing is, I'm pretty certain last time I checked, they didn't actually change the Morse. So the Morse is the correct name.
Right.
And I'm trying to say this a long time. Dahl did it is November. I think that is India. Dahl did it is Golf. Dahl is Echo, and Dahl did it is Romeo, I think. Or as they said, she was only the Morse operator's daughter, but she Dahl did it. Dahl did it.
Like the trumpet.
In Dambusters. Battle of Britain, the crumpet was Susan Ben Halligan. No. I can picture because I saw it not long ago.
Because she was having a relationship with Christopher Plummer.
Yeah. I forgot. It was Susan something, wasn't it? Or Susan Ben Halligan. It wasn't Susan. Wasn't Susan George. It wasn't Susan Hampshire. I don't think. I used to know.
Was it not York?
Susanna York, yes, Susanna York. Thank you, PJ. I'm trying to think. I used to know who played the crumpet in 633 Squadron as well. And my brain switched off of that as well. Not that I know all these movies by the crumpet, of course, but
yes, crumpet is hashtag slang for bird, woman,
Yes, exactly. Yes, I speak English.
Yeah.
I can honestly say, unlike other Robin Hoods, I speak English with an English accent.
All right.
I can honestly say that because like Carrie Elwes, I played Robin Hood. Oh, close enough there too. I'm not a medieval archer, but I play one on circuit.
Anyway, did you know Frederick Forsyth passed away the other week?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a shame because he did some good films as well.
Well, the most memorable one he's known for was Day of the Jackal.
Day of the Jackal, or I would say Day of the Jackal and all Dogs of War.
Yeah, no Dogs of War, but the one I did like was the Fourth Protocol.
Yeah, the thing is, he had to change, I think, because after Day of the Jackal and Dogs of War, I think he was persuaded to sort of change because he wrote in detail how you to do things like get false passports and the rest. He wrote in detail about how they did it, and how they did the arms trade and the rest of it. So,
what is the connection between Day of the Jackal and False Temple and Maverick?
Edward Fox.
There you go. And now, can I just say something? Edward Fox to me is the Jackal.
Definitely.
I haven't watched the new series of Day of the Jackal. I know they're getting the second season.
What's this TV series?
Yes, Day of the Jackal. They did a TV series.
I know they've done a new one with was it Semi-Modern Era because they got a black. Was the other one's got a black girl chasing him down? But I didn't know it was a series. I didn't know it was a series.
No, all right. It's been said David Jones was not really John Drake.
You mean the prisoner?
Spoilers.
Yes, of course he was. Prisoner was John Drake. Of course it was.
You mean number 6 was John Drake?
Yeah, and Danger Man.
Right. Well, the thing is, we would never. Right. Patrick McGowan took the secret of who number 6 was to the grave with him.
Yeah.
Right. It's always been speculation that the prisoner was a sequel to Danger Man.
Yeah.
Right. But we would never know because Patrick McGowan took the secret to the grave.
Yeah. Well, if you intend it to be or not.
You had to make up your own speculation, really.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's so many of those that are linked like that.
There's an episode of Danger Man where he was actually in the village.
What's that? Wow.
Yeah, he was actually at Portman. He was there.
Portmeirion.
Yeah, Portmeirion for one episode. And he probably liked the place so much, he goes, sod it, let's film The Prisoner in.
Well, the thing is what you want to get really worried about is when you go to Portmeirion and you actually see somewhere that there's a little red post box.
I really want to go there.
It's not the prisoner, it's the prison mouse. He's a sequel to Danger Mouse.
Wow.
Oh, come on.
I've been to the post box off of Baker Street because it got a little blue plaque underneath. This is where Danger Mouse.
Oh, what? Wow.
Yeah, I showed it on a podcast ages ago.
Yeah, I know that. Strange, isn't it?
Oh, God. No, I really want to go to Portmeirion.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really nice, but
yeah, it's supposed to be nice, but I think they know you're taking a piss when you walk in dressed as number 6 and you find out.
Well, no, but the thing is, it depends. There is if you play Fallout computer games, there is a place, Callum from the Lotus Eaters.
Yeah.
I think it's only 2 things. There is a place in California or Nevada called Good Springs, which is where you start the Fallout New Vegas game in.
Right.
And they've embraced it. They do actually do Fallout tours. They've embraced it. There's the place that do that. And they embrace it. It's good for tours. I would imagine it's good for Portmeirion's tourism. Still.
Right. Yeah, well, no. Well, the thing is, at Portmeirion, they have got a shop that is there, and I think they have dedicated to the prisoner.
Yeah.
Right, because it was made famous. But if you go there and everyone else is dressed as number 6, it's not. You don't feel like you are the prisoner. Me, I'd rather go dressed as number 2.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because I really want that chair. I really want that chair, so I can turn round, right, and go. I am the new number 2.
Well, people have said you're a bit of a, so we won't go into that.
Anyway,
So the next quiz then is going to be who played the crumpet in X movie, which is where we find out exactly how dirty, exactly what the movies Colin grew up watching.
what, you watch dirty films?
No, not dirty films. Crumpet in actual proper movies, because there's been plenty of crumpet. Like I said, there is a very good.
Carry on lingo here.
No, there is a very good reason, for example, why the best James Bond movie is Live and Let Die.
Yes.
There's a very simple reason why that.
You're talking about the scene where he's in bed with that bird.
No, I'm talking about the entire fact that it's Jane Seymour's first movie.
And we're off.
Well, exactly. The entire reason why that is the best movie is Jane Seymour. End of story. Which is probably why I actually quite like Casino Royale, because Eva Green was quite attractive as well.
Oh, you're talking about the new version, not the old version.
Oh, well, the old version's great. The old version's got Ursula. Oddly enough, I was talking about these things. It's weird ways to go earlier on today when I was down the. Yeah, with oh god, what was his name? Robin Asquith, and Rosie Dixon was the character in the female. Yes, I read a few of those back in the 70s when I was young. The thing is, they weren't actually
right. Okay, Matthew.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, of course, it was the Ice Station Zebra character, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So now we're talking about the saucy 70s. Now, are we?
Well, not necessarily saucy 70s.
I'm familiar with Robin Asquith, right?
I think he was in. I think he was in. Not Man About the House. What's the other one?
No, he was in the film Bless This House.
Bless This House. That was it. Thank you.
And he was also in Carry On Girls. That's what I remember it for.
Yeah.
I've never seen Confessions.
I don't think I've ever seen the movies. I said I remember reading some of the books because there was. I can't remember what Robin Asquith's character was called, but as I said, I'm pretty certain that there were two series going, the Confessions. There was his and there was the girls, and the girl was Rosie Dixon. I think Rosie Dixon was the character's name rather than the author. I'm not sure if they filmed any of those or not. But my memory of them is, let's put it this way, I haven't in a very long time read them. My memory of them is that they were very tame.
Yes.
There wasn't, it wasn't exactly sort of Game of Thrones. They were very tame. They were. Who was what other guy, PJ?
In the script for Arrival number 6 is the. Oh, right. Okay. Good piece of trivia. Thank you, Matthew.
Nice one. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I was saying. Totty from the 60s to the 80s was. Some of my. I'm so glad Miranda's not him. None of the ladies are in the chat because this could be. I don't know. I'm not sure I've ever seen the film, mate. So in fact, it's a very, very long time. I said, my 1980s top picks will be Olivia Hussey and Kathleen Bella. And oh my, sorry, I might need to go and get a shower in a minute. Like I said, this is where we find out. So, what do we need a special? Any time we go to this, we find out what a dirty old man Colin actually is and has been for most of his life. Or besides, we probably share more than we necessarily want to know about what Colin's tastes are, at least when it comes to the looks. Oh, Tony Booth.
Ah, yeah.
Anthony Booth, who was
Tony Blair's dad.
Tony Blair, yeah, Tony Blair's father, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in Blessy's house, wasn't it? Not Blessy's house. Oh, the
Are
Elf
we
Garnet
talking
one.
about? Are we talking about the prisoner now, Matthew?
Was it? What was 2002 Park? Was Tony Booth in 2002 Park?
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
Alf
I hope so.
Garnett,
Yeah, yeah,
Warren Mitchell.
yeah. Yeah, I thought he was in that as well because he was a son-in-law, wasn't he?
Yeah. And the funny thing is about Warren Mitchell, he was a Tottenham Hotspur supporter, and Alf Garnett was a West Ham supporter.
My late father was a Spurs fan.
We're not going to talk football now, anyway.
No, but I did discover something interesting a while ago, actually, of mine, because I say Hotspur actually means a different thing to me, and actually they're connected. Hotspur to me is Harry Hotspur. In fact, one of my friends, one of the guys I know in the reenactment actually plays him, who was late era Wars of the Roses, Harry Hotspur. And apparently, Spurs does have a connection to the Harry Hotspur character, and I can't remember what it is. But no, I'm not going to talk football because I have absolutely zero interest in sports at all.
Give me cricket any day.
Oh, Lord.
No, you can fall asleep through it.
Cricket, the only game where you can go 5 days of playing, still ending the score, still ending the draw. Right.
I saw a video on YouTube of this guy, right, holding a cricket bat like a baseball bat, and he was walloping it. Like, but the thing is, when he was holding the cricket bat, he was holding it like a baseball bat. You're not supposed to do that with a cricket bat.
I've seen that. You say that. I saw. I didn't actually watch it, but come on my feed a while ago. Someone doing that. Something about holding a cricket bat as a baseball cricket bat as a baseball bat. Someone actually doing it for the speed processing, how they compare to each of them.
Yeah.
Because a baseball bat is a lot more aerodynamic than a cricket bat, edge flat on.
You know that baseball bats are aerodynamic because it's like round. But a cricket bat,
yeah, cricket. Well, a cricket bat is possibly slightly more aerodynamic edge on because it's got a narrower profile. But it's
made from a certain tree.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, it's meant to be played flat on, so obviously that
yes,
that changes the aerodynamics of it completely. It's unaerodynamic.
So now we're talking about foot.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about
that now, are we?
God, really? Flipping heck! You must have got to a good school, Mike, Matt. You must have got to a good school. You said that I've actually got visions of my school library now. That's a very long time ago. Yes, 19 when I left school.
Can I just say something, Colin? You remember Carry On Camping?
Yeah.
I wonder what sad bastard out there is freaking trying to freeze frame the moment where Barbara Winter's fucking top comes off.
Every white-blooded man who's ever seen the film, probably.
Yeah, but I wonder what sad bastards out there trying to freeze frame it to catch it.
I'm trying to think. Did I leave school the year that Star Wars came out? Somewhere around. Yeah.
So we're talking Star Wars now, are we?
Oh, I got that.
Well, the funny thing about Star Wars, it's got a massive British connection.
Well, it was made over here in Tunisia for starters.
It was made in Tunisia. It was filmed in Boreham Wood.
Yeah.
Because the stage it was filmed on is still called the Skywalker stage.
Yeah. Well, I still think there's one thing I have no way of knowing, and I would love to be able to step back to read the script for the universe and find out cause and effect wise. I grew up with Jerry Anderson,
Yes.
Doctor Who,
Yes.
Star Trek,
Mhm.
for as major influences. Am I a science fiction fan? Because that's what I grew up with, and I was obviously I had some degree of proclivity, of predisposition to that, or is it just that that's what I remember from my childhood because I'm predisposed to science fiction? I've always wondered which way around it is. Which bit's nature and which bit's nurture, if you like, which bit's cause and which bit's effect. But I mean, I had, I said, I mean, I think about it. I've said a number of times, my first actual, probably my first actual crush, was
That's how we got the beginning.
was the I think I was 13 or 14 at the time I had this crush, so we won't go into that.
Right.
Was Elizabeth Adare, in the Tomorrow People, and she is I think her parents were Nigerian. She is a black actress.
You don't say.
Yeah, but no, I think yeah. No, but I'm saying, yeah, I said, so yeah, that's, no, well, my first influence is that one. We won't mention what age I started reading John Norman books. But no, but we had those. I mean, I had the Tomorrow People, so slightly later in my teens. I had the Tomorrow People. I had Blake Seven. I had such really great. I had such great stuff growing up that now, 40, 50 years later, a lot of it, I never actually found her particularly attractive. But she had, I've never been a short hair person. I'm much, it's the long hair. I'm definitely a long hair guy. But I mean, so much so that over the last 10, 20 odd years, quite a few of those have either been remade or the originals have been continued by the likes of Big Finish. 40, 50 years later, these things are going and they're being repeated. Or they, or otherwise they're still going on. How much of the stuff that's being made now will there be audiobooks or whatever in 40 years' time from now? Because we were that generation. I mean, I was that generation that had just that was literally tail end of the boomer generation. So we're just coming out of we were getting over the recovery from World War II. Science was out there. I mean, we had things like Tomorrow's World. Not James May, James Burke connections and all this sort of thing. That and science fiction was just coming into being a thing as well. And I think there's yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you there, PJ. I'm just even at school, my favorite place was playing football was left back playing football because I was left back and I had to spend most of the time leaning against the goalpost chatting to the goalie, or the others actually played the game, which wasn't into it at all. Which probably explains why I was unfit as I am. But I mean, we grew. I mean, because you grew up with what? You grew up, I think, with probably Terrorhawks.
No.
No, you did not. Sorry, I know you're a Terrorhawks fan, but I thought that was what you.
Terrorhawks came later on when I discovered VHS.
Oh right, okay.
I'm more of a late 80s, 90s kid.
Yeah. I mean, it's things come up. So, you've got these things. I mean, we're all approaches partly. Yeah, left back in the dressing room. I second that one, PJ. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Yeah, left back in the clubhouse. I'll go out. Yes, I'll be the last one in cricket. I'll go out, get out, and I'll go back in again and go back to reading the book. Oh, my late mother used to delight in embarrassing me by telling people how I used to miss the bus for school because I was too busy, had my head stuck in a book. It only happened a couple of times. But we did. I mean, I think what we grew up with, not only that, we grew up with kids and young adult TV that didn't talk down to you, that treated you as intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, not just, it wasn't just that. Time Slip was another one. But it wasn't just that. We had kids' adventure series like was one I remember was the Jensen Code. There was Free Wheelers, was Adventurers. We had 60s, 70s, and possibly the 80s as well. Although I was in my 20s by then. We had TV that actually treated you as intelligent people. We had TV that didn't treat kids as kids.
Yeah.
And that I think is one of the things why I've never watched. I mean, I've seen. I never watched the.
You wouldn't remember Biker Grove, would you?
No, never watched that. I watched Grange Hill a bit, but I think I aged out of that. But I mean, I was going to say. What was I saying? You distracted me now.
Children and Weenies.
No, so what one? Oh no, I'm not going. I mean, which is why I think, for example, although I never watched the Jonathan Frakes abomination of Thunderbirds movie.
I did. I was alone in the cinema.
And I wasn't, and I wasn't that much of a fan of the CGI remakes because
2015.
Yeah, I wasn't. I preferred the Captain Scarlet remake. I didn't dislike it, but I mean the movie in particular was very much kids, and Alan was kids.
No, they were just trying to right off the back of has that gone off? The Spy Kids films.
Right. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but the thing is, it could have. I remember the complaints. I mean, I remember people at the time saying that.
Then Team America came out.
Sorry. The best modern Thunderbirds movie is Team America. The best modern Jerry Anderson movie is Team America.
It was not made by Jerry Anderson.
Yeah, but it's Team America. I mean, they even admit that it's Thunderbird. But what I didn't like about that, and I say there was a little bit also to a degree with the CGI Thunderbirds. It was made by people who thought you had to make kids the star of kids shows. I mean, you think about it. There were maybe 2 episodes of Thunderbirds where there were kids in it at all, other than maybe incidentals. There's the one where the 2 kids fake a call.
Yeah, that was on. That's on ITV Retro at the moment.
And I think there's one where a kid falls asleep in one of the Thunderbirds and
Security Hazard.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Do you want to know something funny? That was played by the same puppet in Cry Wolf.
Well, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
We're going to shut them, but
they used the same voice as well.
Oh, but you think about it. I mean, how many of our kids' shows when we were kids? Yeah. Well, PJ's probably remember as in slightly early memories than you, mate. Were actual kids. Oh, yeah, yes. Well, it was an allegory for puberty, wasn't it? Breaking out. And let's be honest, the Tomorrow People got a little bit more sillier towards the end, I think. the Tomorrow People and Robin of Sherwood were the two things I first collected when I started collecting DVDs, and in both cases the commentaries are fantastic. The commentaries of the people in them are fantastic. Yeah. I mean, to this day, Matthew, I can still stand. My sister and I've said my sister's 3 years younger than me. To this day, you know, if I sort of stand, I said to my sister, and I put my hands on my belt buckle, she knows exactly what I'm referring to. You know, it was the pose for the jaunting pose and the rest of it. But when you think about it, I mean, the thing with the Tomorrow People is they couldn't kill. They found it difficult to commit any sort of violence whatsoever. And for one storyline was really interesting, partly for the total change of characters who's better known for the main villain, because the main villain in One Next was played by Trevor Bannister, who was the new lead character in Are You Being Served? So if you remember Are You Being Served, the guy that worked with I can't remember, I generally can't remember the guy's name. The guy that was always oh God, yeah. Blue versus Green, that was based on I didn't know it at the time. That was actually based on real riots in where if you remember, John Trevor Bannister played opposite John Inman. John Inman was Mr. Humphries. I can't remember what the other guy was, but the other guy that was started, that was Trevor Bannister, and he played a bad guy, head of MI6 in Tomorrow People, and it was such a change of character from what we're used to seeing in Are You Being Served? Yeah, Blue versus Green. You're going to get me off on history again, because there's one point they mention it where, if you don't remember, very very basically, it's Blue versus Green is which remake, PJ, the one in the 90s with the soap opera kids, or the American Abomination, which I got through about half of the first episode of. The basic story of Blue and the Green is that an alien race of partially energy beings, basically, in order to hatch, they need conflict. And what they do is they start off with, it's a fact, I think it was actually Elizabeth Adari's first episode, the first story of season 2. Very, very basically, they start off with they create two factions, and the factions fight, as in tribal factions. And they mention it mentions that they did it back in Constantinople. And I discovered later on that's actually true. They actually refer back to actual riots that happened, literally because of what colour team of horse races you trace. So that one is actually based on events that happened. Oh yeah, I think that was, I can't remember, but I saw the first bit of the second one. Or B5 did it as well, but B5 has with anything else did it better. Whatever you do, I mean, B5 did telepaths much better. I mean, especially if you read the cycle novels. So, and then we're talking about something else that Alex has never seen for once, rather than him talking about something I've never seen. Makes a change. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, all these things are. Some of these things you may, if you were aware of them, Alex, you may well notice occasionally when we're writing, you may well occasionally notice that there's some influences where some of my influences come from, because a lot of these were, I said, things that I grew up with. So, you know, I mean, a lot of your influences you've said was, the Nika riots, I think. under Justinian. Yeah, yeah. I was in the Eastern Roman Empire in Byzantium it was the Eastern Roman Empire rather than the Western Roman Empire. 'Cause it was under Justinian, I think. But then there was another one where they actually went back to Rome, and that was quite an interesting one. They actually went back to Rome, changed history. When they came back to the 20th century, Rome was was now an alien planet. It was an interstellar empire because Rome had never fallen. Because you said, Alex, your a lot of your inspiration. You said a couple of times that, for example, is Dragon Ball Z, isn't it? You got ideas from that. That gives you ideas. That's one of your influences, I think. We all get influences from these various places.
Yeah, but you've never seen an episode of Dragon Ball, Colin. You wouldn't understand it.
Oh yeah, no, mate. I said, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's something I've never seen. So you've seen what I see. So, but I kind of bits and pieces of what you said about it. We all get these things. Yeah, there was. I mean, the thing is, again, what this proves is back in the day when science fiction could do really good stories about real events or real concerns and talk about them subtly. I mean, I think the one, I don't know if you're referring to one, I think you are, PJ, but it's a Star Trek episode where I think it's another one of these ones where they come up against yet another planet which is an Earth clone. And part of the thing through it is that there are sun worshippers. They worship the sun. And I think pretty much the very last line is Uhura saying they misunderstood it. It's not S-U-N, it's S-O-N. It's the sun, as in the Son of God. So they are been worshipping a God, a deity. Again, some fantastic ideas. This is why I think we like science fiction, why it's so challenging as it was. It made you think, and it presented sides of things in a good way. I remember good old Blake 7 again. And you have to remember, Blake 7 was made in the 70s and into the 80s, right? At the height.
Fantastic opening.
Say again?
They had a great, fantastic opening. And the Blu-ray came out and did it better.
Yep. But if you think what was going on in Britain at the time, right? You got the height of the troubles in Northern Ireland, spilling over to the UK mainland.
Yeah, because that's where the inspiration for Blake 7 came.
Yeah, but there is an interview I remember with one of the cast saying, "Yeah, we're the heroes, but if you looked at the point of view of the Federation, we are the IRA." And he actually said that, So again, maybe it gives you an idea to yeah. Oh yeah, exactly, Bridget. Some fantastic episodes, fantastic stories. It's fantastic writing, which you rarely seem to get these days.
Yeah.
I mean, amongst other things, as we were saying earlier on before we came online, mate, how difficult is it to talk about modern day genre entertainment?
Yeah.
And not end up talking a degree of certain type of politics. It's very difficult to do it with modern day stuff. Whereas with the old stuff, there was some sort of what we might call messaging nowadays in it, but it was well done. It was part of the story. You had people who knew what they were doing.
Well, That's Colin going on a half hour. You're going down memory lane.
Well, in my case, it's a very long road.
Yeah.
And it gets even longer if I hit the bit that's the time skip that goes back 600 years further.
We're not EFAT.
I don't think I've ever actually
I
watched it.
watched one of them, nothing smaller, but I did fall asleep. For it.
Well, they do seem to, yeah, I mean, they do seem to do. I've actually got Little Platoon's video on Ironheart to watch later on.
Oh, I am never watching it.
No, I'm never watching it. I mean, I've said the thing talking about it. The thing is, again, it's just the writing for some of these things. I mean, the thing is, you know, I mean, again, we have to be careful not to get too far into boring political territory here, but it was written 3 years ago. It's been on the shelf for 3 years. So it was written right in the height of the 2022 Summer of Love BLM crap. And everything I've seen and heard about it says very, very much that. I'm no interested in anything. Nope. Superman, I'm not sure about. I think, like to bring us on to the subject though, PJ. What I think is going to be interesting. I agree with some of the punters who said that how well Superman does will have an effect on how well Fantastic Four does. So that if Superman just disappears down a black hole, no one's going to go out to see Fantastic Four. But if Superman does reasonably well, people think, oh, well, superhero movies, yeah, okay, so you know, that might kindle a degree of interest in Fantastic Four, but yeah, Matt, they had one or two, but yeah, I mean, interestingly, the best, I'm not sure how it's been done elsewhere, but the best way of doing that I'm aware of is to, you know, most of you guys have probably at least heard of Dungeons and Dragons, the original fantasy role-playing game. Yeah. There was a science fiction one from the 70s called Traveller,
Right.
which is, again, it's still going, it's great. But what they have is partly in that is when mankind comes out from Earth, they find humans everywhere. And the reason for that is that 300,000 years ago, an advanced species literally took humans and transplanted them, which is a way of explaining why. It's a much, much better way of explaining why. I mean, they tried a bit in Next Generation to explain why so many races were literally humans with makeup on the nose or ears or whatever, where they had a precursor race whose were basically the precursors of a much intelligent life, and they were human, and that's why. Yeah, I mean, where no man has gone before. Sorry, every other episode we're stopping at a star-based diesel colony. That, yeah. But I suppose, to be fair, amongst other things, they were limited by the limits, or they were restricted by the limits of 1960s special effects and the rest of it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a lot cheaper and easier to have human beings with perhaps blonde hair who are going to go on to become iconic police officers, David Soul, or the like, that you are than yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was Vikings, for example, and the rest. But yeah, exactly, PJ, you're right, mate. But you know, I mean, you can understand why it's probably a lot easier and cheaper to have people who've got bit of makeup, and different costumes and actually create a completely different race or or civilization. You've got to build new sets with intelligence sets and the rest of it. Um, but hey, if it wasn't for Star Trek, where would we be now?
Hmm.
You know.
Shall we start wrapping up, Connor?
Oh, might as well be going an hour and a half. Or I've been going an hour and a half. And
I've been sitting here bored. Oh, right, okay. We're me, PJ, and probably Jim, Colin, depending, will be back on the 26th of next month with Let's Talk Geeky 98, I think. And me and Colin will be back with Monday night on with FFSI on the 20th. No, 26 is Let's Talk Geeky, 28 is Monday night with FFSI.
okay.
Bit of a narrow window, but solid. Right, what you got coming up, Colin?
Not a lot, really. Yeah, PJ, that's what I was
everywhere
thinking. Yeah, as PJ said there, that's the one I was thinking of. Or at least they tried to bring in an explanation for it, and then Enterprise tried to explain the difference in Klingon, which I think there it would work. Sam and Hope. I mean, I don't have to. I mean, I'm usually on the Rabbi's channel. Not the Rabbi. I'm usually in chat on the Rabbi channel. I'm usually actually on with Father Miller, the Nerd Father, when he's on. But he's. I know he's got one or two things coming up. I tend to be in chat with Mr. Brown, or also a couple of others, but that's about it at the moment for me.
Yep, I'll be back with Let's Talk Geeky. Hopefully we're going to have questions from the chats.
Yeah.
Because the last quiz we done, I won.
But fun. What I find is, I find that sort of things. The sort of quiz is an interesting thing in as much as it really brings up. Because I did a few times. I was on. Dan used to do a quiz show a couple of years ago, and he had the Rabbi and Noel, the two team captains, and I think I was on about 2 or 3 times. That was quite interesting because they got a nice little format. The embarrassing thing being that.
Take care, PJ.
Cheers, Paige. The embarrassing thing. Well, it's not embarrassing because the Doctor Who round is one that I always got hardly anything on. Was it? No, it was pretty no, because someone else did one as well, didn't? Neil did one as well. But no, 'cause I quite like these channels. It depends how they work for the chat. It's always interesting if you get chat coming for some interesting questions and the like.
Yeah. Well, anyway, right. So, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Excuse me. And also people watching the catch up. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, yada 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 yada. And we'll see you next month for another interesting Monday night with FFSI with Colin rabbiting on. Who cares? Anyway, take care, everyone.
Let me rabbiting on about.
I am going to give you a whole stream to yourself. Sorry.
No.
All right.
That'll find nothing to talk about. You can trigger me. In the nicest possible way, of course, not the modern meaning of it.
All right. Take care, everyone, and have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.